Digicore reported a 12% increase in first half revenue to 448 million rand, somewhat offset by a reduced gross margin to 66%. Nick Vlok, CEO of Digicore, joins us for more. Good morning, Nick. You say that your results were affected by a host of factors. Is that a way of saying that you needed some reasons here to explain why you hadn't done as well as you might have?
Good morning, David. Yes, I think so. Although if one looks at some of the highlights of the last 6 months, David, we sold probably 5,000 units more than the 6 months prior to it. Although on the comparative 6 months, it's been roughly the same. Our EBITDA has also gone up from 36 to 62 mil, and our profit on after tax from 4 mil to 13 mil on the previous 6 months. So there's definitely, although it's a lot lower than the first half of last year, there's definitely been a turnaround in the last 6 months that we're reporting on now. Some of the issues that did have an effect on us, obviously the European markets are still relatively slow at the moment. We've had a lot of strikes in South Africa, as you're aware of, so that did affect our fleet management side of our business. Sales, although it was 1,000 units up, the guys were still sort of relatively below budget and what we planned for the year. So yes, those are the two issues in particular that has had an effect on it. I think, as you are aware, I was away for about 18 months now. I'm back in the driving seat. I think there were probably a lack of cost control with regards to overheads and maybe even on the cost of sales side, which I'm happy that I will relatively pick up and sort out within the next 4 months. So we're looking forward to, a full year to be at least on par, or hopefully better than last year.
Give us an idea of the mix of the business operationally and where the problems are in the current economic environment.
I think if we look at maybe start in the UK, which is one of our bigger markets, our fleet management business on that side has improved quite nicely. We're starting to gear up for the insurance industry on that side with a crowd called Coverbox and market study. Unfortunately, again, these type of situations, we had to put the infrastructure in place at a relatively huge expense, and we were really still incurring losses there for the last probably 8 months already now. But the good news there is that the guys have actually placed orders, funny enough, 2 days ago, one for 3,000 and market study then for another 1,000 units. So it seems to me eventually the hard work is starting to pay off, and the units will definitely be moving ahead in the next, going forward from the 1st of April now as well. They made a loss of 16 million last year. The loss for the international side there is down to 6 million, and the forecast indicates that it'll drop way below the 15 million of last year. So we're quite confident that that's happening on that side. Discovery in South Africa, as I think everybody's aware of, we have installed well over 30,000 units into the Discovery fleet, their new insurance business. We planned not to make a lot of money initially, but again, that side, just purely the volume will affect our bottom line positively going forward over the next 18 months, and obviously from then on forward, it'll really start growing nicely.
Okay, just finally to ask you quickly what I asked Aaron Keat of Grand Parade. What are you expecting from the budget today? What will be the number or the statement or the area that you'll be taking an interest in?
The fuel price obviously would be of interest to us. I think from a personal point of view, I would really like to see the guys pushing the educational department so that that'll allow companies like ourselves to get educated people to employ, particularly with regards to the black empowerment that is becoming more difficult, I think, for South African business to find qualified people to do the jobs. But that's roughly what I would be looking for. Taxes, I'm not sure whether they will reduce tax. I doubt it. But hopefully it won't go up by too much, David.